Welcome, Illiana community, to our first ever real podcast called Illiana Insights. We've been looking forward to doing this for a long time. I am here. I am Lance Davids here with Darren DeBoer, our athletic director, and we're kind of your hosts for this. Our goal is to do these twice a month and focus on a lot of the topics or the insights that are going on at Illiana Christian. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of things we can deal with.
Yep.
But the idea came a little bit from, as you know, a lot of it, I send a blog out on Fridays, and it gives you a little hint of what's going on, and we'll be able to take some of those topics, dive into them a little deeper, and we're always going to land the plane in the gospel at the end. That's kind of the goal of this. But a couple other things the first time, we're always going to highlight a little treat or something that you have with coffee. So we're starting today with muffins. These are from Waltz. We sell these at Common Grounds.
Yeah, we do.
They are a popular item, by the way. Yep. And so one of the things we want to highlight, if you have a great recipe for us, whether it is a dessert, whether it's a snack, whether it's your favorite cookie, if this is what we need to have coffee, email us at Illiana Insight. We'll provide that in a link here, and we'll be free to share it.
I'm going to share something. I'm going to make something.
Oh.
I'm going to make something for the group. I'm committed to that.
Are you more on the dessert end or
more on the dessert end?
Yeah. These are good. We're going to have a bite of these in a second. Okay. We appreciate Waltz. Our kids love these things. They do muffins Tuesdays and Wednesdays and donuts Thursdays and Fridays.
Yep.
The other thing we want to do before we get to our topic for the day is I always like to start with a little trivia question for Darren here. Right. Something that goes on with Illiana. So can you name the 10 teachers or faculty members who have been here over 20 years at Illiana? There's 10 of them, and you can play at home.
Okay.
There's 10 of us. Now, I use the faculty word, so they have to be teachers, or this might give it away, counselors.
Okay.
But it's not staff members.
Got it.
So continually teaching here over 20 years. There's 10 of them.
Okay. Well, you gave away the counselor, so I'm going to go Neil Zanstra.
Neil's one, yeah.
I'm going to say you're another one.
Correct.
Make sure I get that one right. Rick Veldman.
Well, technically, he's not teaching right now, so we did not have him on the list. He would be number one at 47 years.
That's amazing. Deb Top.
Yes, she's number one. 37 years.
Jeff White.
Yep, 31.
See, I came in here in 12, so this is year 12 for me. So I'm trying to work backwards from that. There's got to be some in our English department.
Yes.
Jeff DeVries.
Yep. 30.
Jim Campice.
Yes, 29.
Can't say one without the other.
Correct.
Yeah. Brian Sylvester.
Yes, 24. There's 3 more.
So he came around the time that I was a student, not to date him, but I just did. So it's got to be 20 years here.
20 years. Math teacher. Also was a coach for years.
Oh, now I should really know this one.
You should.
Oh, let's see. Trying to go through our math department. It's been changing a little bit.
It's very fond of Timothy.
Oh, Dave Bosman.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes, 25 years.
But Dave's been a little bit of a Swiss Army knife, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 more. We got an English teacher and then the other one, Bible teacher.
Okay. Let's see. English. Another English teacher, you said? English is going to be Sarah Johnson?
Nope.
No, she's
18.
Okay, so she's getting there. Christy Medema.
Yes, 24 years.
Yep. And the last one we said was
Bible teacher.
Mark
Dykstra, 24 years.
Good for him.
That is amazing. When I looked at it, I was doing this research yesterday. How many people at Illiana have been here for so long?
Yep.
It says a lot about the commitment of our staff and faculty. We have a bunch of them right under the 20-year, like the 18s. You got the Rachel Drosts.
Oh, yeah, we got a new batch rolling in pretty soon.
Tom Rosabooms.
Yeah.
And you're coming up there, too.
Yeah, surely enough.
It's fun looking at all that commitment that they've had to this place.
I agree.
One of the things we were talking about the other day, which I found really interesting, is in the athletic department, you guys do something that you're encouraging your coaches to do with their teams. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we've introduced this idea of having core covenants, and core covenants really isn't anything new. Maybe the term is a little bit new to our coaches, but basically these covenants are they're like the musts of a team. Like if you see a team, what do you have to see when you see them? Like what do you want to see? You want to see certain traits, right? And so we wanted our coaches to be able to identify very specifically what are the core covenants that your team is going to have. And people vary on this one a little bit. I mean, each team's going to have its own kind of flavor in terms of what they feel is important. So, it could be a commitment to having grit. It could be a commitment to hard work. And then from there, they have to flush out with their team, like, what does this look like on the floor? Like, you can name it. It can be an idea. But how's it manifested, right? Like in every practice and every game. If I were to watch one of your practices, could I name these things that I see that your team exhibits? So that was the challenge that they had, and each team kind of goes through and identifies anywhere from 3, 4, sometimes 5 core covenants that they're going to have, and then we talk about them throughout the year.
And they get student input on this. These aren't no coaches just doing this on their own.
Yeah. So students will have input on this because this is like a contract that they agree to, right? Yep. Like a covenant is a promise between two parties, right? And we know what that is. So the students agree to it, and then at some point the student has to commit to this covenant and to this part of the team, usually by either signing something or saying something, but even after they make the team, they have to verbally or physically commit to it in some way to show that this is what they want to do.
So how do they stay intentional in it? Because, I mean, a lot of times we love these ideas like at the beginning of the season, and then all of a sudden the play starts,
season,
and then
season happens, and then all of a sudden it goes. So that's a good question, because I meet with the coaches several times to follow up with them. They'll go over them in like pre-practice meetings. They'll go over them in post-game talks of devotions about them. But what we really encourage them to do is to have some sort of physical reminder as to what these covenants are. So something you can actually see, right? And it's always in front of them. Something that's even physical enough that you have to carry it. And I like that idea that they carry something.
So what are some of those examples that like some of your teams have done?
We've had some good ones. So I've had a basketball team that's written them on the basketball, and then every player signed the basketball, and then they carry it to every game.
Nice.
They even pick certain players to take turns carrying it. I had one team went to Build-A-Bear. Got a stuffed bear,
a bear,
giant bear. This is a 5-foot bear that they built. That they went to Build-A-Bear together, nice. And then this bear is supposed to represent what the team stood for.
We almost need another seat on the bus. We're taking 5-foot bears with us.
It did. This thing was it needed a seatbelt. It was enormous, and they would carry it like you'd have to carry it on your back. It was huge. But what I love about it is that they were willing to be so bold about what they stood for. And I think that's the biggest challenge is you want to be so different it's noticeable. And they were committed to that, so I loved it.
And it's a great challenge because one of the things I always hear sometimes, and you probably hear it too, in athletics, the comment we get sometimes is, well, we expected more from a Christian school, like how we act, maybe sometimes how the fans act, and keeping it in front of them. And as a great reminder, when you come off that field and you see that bear, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, I got to be focused." And
there's the bear, and there's a lot of truth to that because you don't. Sometimes all you get with our neighbors and witnessing, whether it's through just coming home from school or on a sports team, sometimes you just get one shot, and you want to make sure that impact that you have on people is as strong as you can possibly make it.
Yeah, that's great stuff. I mean. There's always a phrase I really like that grass grows where you water it. So if you're really focusing on developing athletes of character that have those covenants in front of them, reminding of them that this is what we play for.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. I love the analogy. We've read a lot of books. We had some of you guys read that on habits last year, and making habits are easier to do when you have a symbol to remind yourself of those things. Yep. So that's great. I think it's a great reminder of covenants too. I mean, we have covenants each and every day. God has a covenant with us, and it's that promise. And this is where the gospel connection comes in all the time, where you can take it a step further. Yeah, we have a covenant for sports, and it's great. Yep. But God has that covenant with us, and he's incredibly faithful in it. And that's always the thing I love to do in class and at Illiana is you take this idea and you always connect it to what God does for us.
Right. And it's the same connection that our coaches make too, is that, you know, these physical reminders, and it's so opens the door for them to talk about the promises that God has made, the covenants that he's made with us, often just telling us what we're going to agree to. You know, I will be your God, you will be my people, right? And there's always these physical reminders that we have to remind us about his faithfulness and about what we're committed to.
So I appreciate that, and I love what you do with athletics of making it way more than just a game.
Yeah.
We're teaching them about life, we're teaching them about Jesus, and we're trying to keep that in the forefront of what we do.
Absolutely.
So thank you for all you do with that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, that's kind of our first wrap of this. Thank you for joining Illiana Insights. If you have ideas of what you want us to talk about, there's a lot of insights. Give us something to talk about, and we will deal with it. And instead, for now, we'll enjoy the rest of our muffins and our coffee, and we'll see you next time.